Alright, welcome to my Elsa makeup tutorial. This is my very first makeup tutorial, and, well, I'm gonna do my best. So, unlike other YouTubers and other people out there, I don't have any fancy equipment, so I am using my phone and what light I have. So, for coordination, my camera is here. My mirror is right here, and I've got some makeup supplies over here and brushes over here, and pins, other makeup that I'm going to be using over here. So you might see me moving, looking different ways, so bear with me. So usually for any sort of makeup tutorial, what I do first is I apply a primer. And I normally, for most makeup, use e.l.f. Poreless Face Primer. And, yeah. Now, with Elsa, normally I apply the makeup first for most cosplays, and then the wig. But Elsa is a very special case, because her wig takes a little bit of time to get on. So I apply the wig first, and if you want me to make a separate video for how I attach this wig, I am more than happy to. But for now, it's just going to be the makeup, because the wig takes a little bit to get on. So it's all over my face. This helps to seal the pores and creates a nice smooth look so that pores don't show. Now, if you don't know e.l.f., e.l.f. is a pretty affordable, really good makeup brand that I've been using for many years. And a lot of makeup artists and cosplayers actually use e.l.f. A lot of people prefer to use a lot more expensive makeup brands. I don't see any need to. You can find e.l.f. products like at Five Below, Walmart, Target. They've been getting more higher quality over the years, so the next thing I do is I take Wet n Wild Coverall Correcting Palette. Now, for a character like Elsa, which is what I call a pretty character, pretty characters, Disney princesses, queens, have very flawless looking skin. They don't have eye bags, they don't have redness, so I'm going to be using a few different colors from this to cancel out any imperfections I may have. So first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to be taking this yellow right here, which will cover up and put it right here on my under eye bags and any other places that might need it. Usually I just do this. So, put that under the eyes, it brightens it up. And when I go to apply my foundation, which is the next step, I am going to be blending this. It looks weird at first, but, you know, it's a step. Now, I don't know if you notice on the camera, but I do have a few spots of redness. I'm going to be using the green right here to cancel it out. So I've got some redness right here, kind of around the cheeks. My hairs kind of fly away, and the red is mostly caused by the wig, you know, just the adherence to it. So, and this will also blend out when I go to put on the foundation, and I'm just applying this with my fingertips because I've tried doing this with a brush before. It needs to be warmed up with actual skin, so I just do that. Not the fanciest technique, I will admit, but I use my fingers quite a lot when applying makeup. And there's nothing wrong with that. So just taking that, kind of just covering all the redness. Now, I don't have a lot of acne, and I do that intentionally because I like my skin to be nice as possible especially for cosplay. I'm also just vain. So I look all green spotted. Like I said, it looks weird, but, you know, if you do this yourself, you know. Now, Wet n Wild, like e.l.f., is another affordable makeup brand. The interesting thing about Wet n Wild years ago, back in the early 2000s, and I think any person who did makeup back then can vouch, Wet n Wild didn't used to be very good quality. But, you know, I try not to break the bank with cosplay, and so when I first started cosplaying in 2012, I just decided to get some Wet n Wild products, and I was surprised at how good they were, because they were actually pretty bad quality a long time ago. So I guess they've upped their quality. Now you can see all that green. Because we're people. You know, human skin isn't perfect, and unfortunately these Disney characters, they don't have acne. So that already sets up a very awkward precedence. I'll just apply this here. Maybe a little bit more here, and I'm pretty much done, if you can see that. Now there are two other colors in here. I don't normally use the purple. Let's see, what's the purple used for? Purple and yellow are opposites. Purple spots, any overly yellow spots, attack them with purple. I'm usually the opposite. Also, purple is fantastic for if you are just doing a very pale character, but not like super, super pale, not like a dead character. Purple is fantastic at canceling out, you know, at least for me, the yellow of my skin, because I don't know if you can see, but my skin has a very orange tone to it, and you'll see that with this. Now, normally, like I said, I don't go with expensive makeup brands, but this happened to be on sale. This is Maybelline Superstay Full Coverage, light tan, pretty much just hold it up to my skin. Now, normally I wouldn't have gotten something like this, but I had a store that was selling some makeup. It was a grocery store going out of business, so everything was like 50% off, 75% off, and I needed some new foundation anyway, so I was like, yeah! It was only like $6. This stuff is normally like $12. Yeah. And so I have one of those sponges, and I used to use like a makeup sponge, but I mean, I used to use a brush to apply my foundation, but it was looking pretty streaky. So, yeah, no. So this creates, it looks kind of concentrated at first, but it blends in really nicely. I'll just do that all over the place. All over the place, all over the face. I made it rhyme. And you can see it's kind of orange toned, and in the right light, it kind of is more orangey. I think back when I used to first do Elsa, I used to make my skin paler. But I just didn't want to fight my natural skin tone. And so you can see how that blended in very nicely, and that's why I like these kinds of brushes. They just blend in very nicely, so you can see that. They just blend in and cover it up, and I sound so weird. And I just put it directly on the brush, you know, no decorum. The other side of my face. And this is a lot of the reason why I do makeup in the wig, because, you know, it's easy to mess up the makeup if you do it without the wig, you know, just mess up the edges. This way you already get the edges all in. And this side of my wig just has trouble staying down. I've applied like eyelash glue to keep it in place, but what you gonna do? It's one of the things of cosplay. You can only work with as much as your cosplay wants to work with you. And So we'll just have that move over. So weird. Now, I'm gonna do my head, my forehead right up here. Just blend in as best as I can. I love lace front wigs. This is the first lace front wig that I have ever had, and I love it because it blends in so wonderfully. It's my hair showing through, but might be more iffy if I weren't just doing this for fun. Because I'm gonna go see Frozen 2, and I wanted to be dressed up as Elsa. It's not like I'm putting on the whole dress, the whole shebang. This is the very casual look from Wreck-It Ralph 2. And I was like, I wanted to cosplay Elsa, but I just wanted something nice and comfortable. And this was a very affordable way of doing it. Now, you see that I'm applying it to my chin and a little bit to my neck. Because if you just apply it to your face, then it looks kind of weird. Especially since the cameras can catch a difference in color, and you can kind of see it's more orange up here. My skin has an orange tone to it. So, when I'm usually dressing up, I usually decide to dress against it. But recently I've started leaning into it, like, I've got a gold obsession. So you can see that everything is all blended in, all the imperfections appear gone, and that appears very nicely, very smoothly on film, on cosplay photography. I'm just getting a drink. So, my favorite brand of tea, Ito N Kwecha. Got it from the foreign market. Now this is kind of broken, so I just tape it up so it doesn't go anywhere. I'm done with that. Very orange thing right there. Now what I do next is I'm going to apply some Mayron setting powder. Now any setting powder I would imagine would do, but I got this and I have it, and cosplayers use it quite a bit. It's neutral color and it looks white, but it is invisible. You just gotta make sure not to put on too much, from what I've heard. And you only need a little bit. So I apply it with a kabuki brush. This is also e.l.f. I have a shit ton of e.l.f. products. So, all over the face. All over. That helps to set the foundation nice and even, makes it look nice and presentable. I even put foundation on my eyes. I'm going to be applying primer for my eyes a little bit later. Just all over, if you can see. Yeah, it looks very nice, doesn't it? And down the chin. Now the thing with makeup brushes is that what you want, or what you want to avoid, ideally, is getting really cheap makeup brushes. And how do you know if they're cheap? Well, the bristles are going to be falling out and sticking to your face. And it's bearable when you're initially a cosplayer and you're doing the whole money thing, but you want to get ones that don't, because it makes it such a burden when you have to pluck a tiny 1,000 hairs off of your face. It kind of feels uncomfortable too. So, got that all applied. So that's the base layer. This is the, what I call the canvas layer. From here, this is a very base layer that I use for a lot of different characters. And from here, it's going to change. But this is what I do personally for my own makeup. Just any. Now usually for like cons, I use a primer, sealer, to kind of lock this in place, that way it lasts long. And I'm going to use it for the sake of this, but for a casual look I don't necessarily always use it. Any sealer could do. I use NYX Matte Finish Long Lasting Setting Spray, and just go like this when I spray, and if you do this, make sure to close your eyes, because you don't want to get this stuff in your eyes. So and kind of just fan it so it dries faster. So that's our canvas layer. Like I said, this is not a fancy tutorial. Oh yeah, I'm gonna need that because I'm gonna use this again at the end. So I'm gonna apply this while I have it out, while I'm thinking about it. That way it dries and it has everything ready for what I'm gonna do a little bit later. So, looking at my mirror, just applying this. So eyeshadow primer is not required, but I really noticed that eyeshadow primer makes a difference if you're applying your makeup, eyeshadow, because it does last longer. And I'm putting this all over this right here because Elsa's eyeshadow goes all the way up. And if you just apply it to, if I just apply it to the lid, you wouldn't be able to see it. And you know, normally in like typical makeup that would look too much, but for her it's perfect. Because you know, she's a cartoon character. She has very exaggerated features, and I'll show you what I do to exaggerate her features, something that I picked up from my anime makeup. Or at least I do my yanderes. You can't see anything, but it gives a nice layer. And this is, oh, this is Wet n Wild. Again, Wet n Wild eyeshadow primer. I got this at Five Below. So, I've got the excess. Now what I'm going to do with this primer is just like with the last primer, or just like foundation, is take a little bit of powder and just tap it over it. That way it's not all moist and ugh. Just a little bit of primer on my finger and just tapping it over. That way it's a nice, even, dry layer, but it's a nice, strong layer for the eyeshadow to adhere to. There we go. You can't really see it, but it'll make a difference. Makes a canvas for the eyeshadow because her eyeshadow is very pigmented. And I'll show you how to do her eyeshadow in just a bit. This is very unceremonious, but, you know, it makes it look good, makes the cosplay look good. I don't know if any other cosplayers do this, but I never... When I first started doing this makeup, I just, like, figured it out on my own. I didn't look at any tutorials, so this is completely my own tutorial. So, okay, close that. That's the same setting powder from before. Okay, take another drink. So, yeah, it looks very nice and even, doesn't it? Alright, let's see. I don't need this anymore. So, let's see. I am going to do the eyeshadow next. Now, the eyeshadow, I'm going to need maybe like a chair so I can get closer. Give me a second. That way you guys can see it a little bit better. Now, like I said, I'm gonna push this closer. That way you guys can see it. Alright. I'm gonna grab my eye stuff. Interesting part about most characters is that most of the action for them is in their eyes. And when they say that the eyes are the window to the soul, they are not lying. Eyes are extremely expressive. When I first started learning how to draw, and yes, I draw, in case you haven't seen some of my older Instagram or older posts on my Facebook page, I love eyes. Eyes tell a lot, and they make or break a portrait, in my opinion. I just cleaned my brushes, so I'm grabbing some clean brush. This is another e.l.f. brush. This is specifically for eyeshadow, so if you can see it. It's not really focusing on the camera, but, you know. It has this little tip, and it concentrates everything. I bet you can see my art in the background. Let me see. You can see my eyes. Like I said, this is not the most graceful tutorial. I don't have a lot of resources, don't have a lot of money, so just looking at my colors here. Okay. So let me show you the palette that I have, and I did some research about this palette, and it's no longer available for sale for some odd reason. It's because it's really great, and a lot of cosplayers have it. But I have BH Cosmetics 100 second edition 120 color palette eyeshadow. I bought this from Amazon years ago, and I thought they still had it, but they don't have it anymore. Now there are a lot of similar ones listed on Amazon, kind of like this, but unfortunately BH Cosmetics doesn't seem to sell this anymore, which I find odd. But, I mean, the color is really pigmented. I think this palette only cost me $10 to $20, somewhere in between that. These colors are really great. They have matte colors, they have metallic colors, they have glitter colors, they have neutral, they have all the different colors of the rainbow. And for me, personally, I don't like buying a ton of different little palettes in order to get the colors that I want. And for me, most of the colors I like are bold. You can see all the different colors. They're really nice. I've dug into them a lot more, some more than others. Now, for Elsa's eyeshadow, if you've ever really paid close attention to it, it's like, it's a little bit metallic, but it's also warm. And it's a red, warm red violet. So let me find the colors on here. Okay, so what colors did I use? I think the colors that I used are a combination of this one right here, this one right here, and a little bit of this one. This one gives the purple, this gives a little bit of warmth and glitter, and this gives some glitter and more purple. But they're all warm. And it's so funny because when I blend this out, and initially it doesn't look very warm, but it gives that gradient of the warmth and the purple in her eyes. So let me see what brushes I have, because I'm gonna need a brush where I'm just gonna need to like blend it out. Because as much as I'd like to have a nice concentrated eyeshadow, I think this will do. Got these brushes off of Amazon. Can't remember what the seller is, but you know, that's the thing. So I'm gonna take this first color right here that I showed y'all. That'll be the nice matte base, I think. And I think I use a combination of all these colors. I don't use any specific one, just like one singular color. Ah, there we go. So, go like that. Can you see that? I guess that'll be leaning to and forth. And if you can kind of see that, that creates the nice warmth. And you can see how much that's appearing very vividly on the top of the eyeshadow primer. And this will act as the base. And like most eyeshadow, had to find the word for that. The secret to this is blending. Blending, blending, blending. My favorite thing in the world. Alright. And her eyeshadow really comes up. And like I said, you would think it's, you know, totally cheap looking, but with her it's not, because you expect it. Oh, just got some purple streaks from the eyeshadow. You can see how pigmented that is, just from a little bit. And I'm just kind of dabbing my brush in there. And this is going to be kind of like Bob Rossi-ish, my approach to like makeup. At least with more theatrical makeup. With this kind of makeup, which I call pretty makeup, it's very easy to be perfectionist, you know? If you make a mistake, it's not a big deal. I get frustrated too. But you just gotta roll with the flow. You know? It's makeup for a con. You're going there to have fun. You know, what's the use of making a whole big spiel about it? You know, you can see how pigmented that is. I'm gonna bring this up just a tad more. That way it can be seen, because she has very extravagant eyeshadow. You can see those streaks, or maybe you can't. It doesn't really matter to me, because like I said, I'm not going to, like, on a con floor. If I was going to the con, I'd probably be more asinine about this. Alright. I'm going to apply the same color to my other lid. That way I'm kind of just like following the same steps, and I'm going to blend this out in just a second, because I want to blend them both at roughly the same time. Oh, that got a little bit near my inner circle, but that's okay. It is okay. They're not mistakes. They're happy accidents, you know? Just dabbing the brush and the color, and then just kind of slowly applying it all over the face. This is like total ASMR, isn't it? I've had people tell me that my voice is like really relaxing to listen to. And they're like, oh, you should do podcasts. Oh, you should do ASMR videos more than once from unrelated people. And if this is ASMR for you, go for it. I would love to create ASMR videos. But like I said, I don't exactly have the kinds of tech for it. Kind of just blending this. Blending the edges. It's so magical. That way they don't look as strong. I'm gonna need more color, man. And trust me, I'm gonna apply more color. That's where half of my work and my cosplays goes to. My eyes. Let me tell you what else I'm gonna do with my eyes. Disney princesses have big eyelashes. Big, fluffy, feminine eyelashes. Nothing wrong with that. But I don't have those kinds of eyelashes. I'm not lucky. I think I used to when I was younger, but now, not really. Can you see the warmth in that purple? I don't have to apply any extra purple because this is a very naturally warm purple. Oops. Blend this out. Blend it, blend it, blend it. Alright. I'm going to apply a different color. I'm still keeping a little bit of this color on. Choose this lighter, slightly glitterier, more glittery purple, red violet. Oh yeah, this is nice and warm. It's also purple. I don't know why all this powder is getting everywhere. Just gonna have to tap it in place, that way the color's more concentrated. And sometimes that's what you have to do. Gotta do what you gotta do to get that color nice and concentrated. For me, color is a whole big thing. Color makes the character. And that's why I like bright, bold colors. You see that? Yeah, it's nice, isn't it? I'm just gonna have to tap that in place for this. We're getting a lot done in just 30 minutes. For some reason I just don't feel like this matches. Like, this side seems to be better than this one. And you see, if I go like that, it doesn't look ridiculous if I go like that, because it reaches so high. I don't know if you guys noticed, but I actually have some like dust right there. So I'm gonna take my little kabuki brush and kind of go like that. Sometimes I go like, get the remnants off. I'm kind of gonna blend this just a little bit around the corners, around the edges. Yeah. How's that look? Now we're gonna need some glitter, 'cause she's a queen, as far as I know. I've been looking at some spoilers online, and it's like, well, images on Instagram, just spoilers. Ooh, yeah. Ooh, yeah. That's getting some color right there. And see, when you are getting pictures done, cosplay photography, you want as much makeup on as possible, to the point where it looks ridiculous. And that's because when you are getting photographs taken, you are going to be washed out by any and all flash that your photographer friend is using. And there's kind of the same rule applies to like theater. You need to apply more makeup. If you apply a little makeup, it doesn't look like you have any makeup on at all. If you apply more makeup that looks ridiculous, then it looks like you have natural makeup. If you apply tons and tons of layers, then it looks like you have too much. Because if you have just like too much makeup on in the theater lights, then it doesn't look like you're being washed out. Because the theater lights wash you out a bit. Quite a bit. So you have to make sure that your makeup is as garish as frickin' possible. Obviously, if you're doing this very casually, you don't have to do it as garishly, but you know, just doing. I'm gonna add some of this metallic eyeshadow right here, just a little bit, because just a little bit goes a long way. I'm just kind of dabbing this on, not really spreading it out. Yes, I go to the movie theater and cosplay. You have no right to judge me. Because I see other cosplayers going to the mall and cosplay. Oh yeah, get that glitter. Can you see that? Can you see that? Maybe not. I don't have the best camera. I bet you can see those flakes of eyeshadow makeup. dabbing this on. Dabbing! You couldn't see that either. I am playing synthwave in the background, if you were wondering. I love synthwave. High enough beat to be jamming to, low enough beat to relax to. I listen to it 24/7. Okay, I'm gonna take a couple deep breaths and brush away this extra powder. And then blend my lovely edges. Maybe that's a little much, but see, it shows up, doesn't it? And it doesn't look like too much. Yeah, I have a feeling I put on a little bit too much, but it's alright. It's just for fun. Other people make a big deal about it. I just don't get why people make a big deal out of everything. You know, cosplay is supposed to be for fun, and lately in the last 7 years, people are just being not fun with it. Elitist, putting down people with different skin colors, that sort of thing. And it's like, can't we just have it for fun, please? I don't get it. I really don't get it. Fight me for saying that, but cosplay is for everyone, you know? So next I'm going to take this, I don't know what brand this is because it's faded so much, but it's an eyebrow pencil. And like my primer, it is slightly broken. So I gotta tape it up so it doesn't come off and the point doesn't get ruined. So, notice it has this little thing on there. I'm gonna angle, because I do my eyebrows a certain way. And the little stipple, I guess, brush helps to distribute the color throughout the hair. And I'll get back to my eyes in just a second. I just want to get this done. Because Elsa's eyebrows, like mine, are brown, so I don't have to change a thing. I'm a really big fan of this person who does synth music that I'm listening to. You see that? Yeah. That looks nice, doesn't it? Do this. I like to kind of do the same sides at the same time. That way I don't overdo one thing and everything's balanced. It's kind of weird, but I don't know how everybody else does their makeup, but this is how I do my makeup. Angling my face like this allows me to get the angle of the eyebrow better, and I know I've found that when I don't do it, I don't get that nice angle I like. Just combing this through, getting non-transparent eyebrows, so you see. Now I keep my eyebrows short. Like that, because I like the look. Yeah, and comb that through just a little bit. My kitty's on the other side, on my bed. She's moving a little bit. Just adding a little bit of an arch. Hi, girly girl. Are you awake? She was taking a nap. She's a sweet girl. I'm gonna do the same for the other side. Oh, give me one second. I had to let the cat out, so I paused the video for a second. Get rearranged. Now, exactly why I do it this way is so I can get that angle that you saw with the other eyebrow. It's a very nice, natural angle. Yeah, you can see it's starting to form. Other people may do their eyebrows differently. This is how I do mine. I don't know about you, but I'm not a big fan of those super overdrawn eyebrows. I've actually seen them in real life on a person, and they just look really weird. Like, they have solid over here and then faded, and it's like, that's not how real eyebrows look, but it's not my makeup. I like natural looking eyebrows. I'm a fan of how Japan does it. That looks good. Just gonna brush it out with my little brush right here. That looks good, doesn't it? And I'm gonna just a little bit right here. Just a little bit. There we go. That looks nice, doesn't it? There we go. And I'm just gonna grab a piece of tape to tape this right up. I'm not gonna need this again for this tutorial. Let's go put it over there. So, back to our lovely eyes. So the next step I'm going to take is I'm going to line my waterline, which is the line right here, under the other eye, under the eye, right where the eyelashes are, with, I've seen a lot of makeup artists, YouTubers use this, so I got it to try it out, and I love it. It's NYX Jumbo Eye Pencil. Basically, it's just a white eyeliner, except this stuff actually lasts. I have an other white eyeliner that I used to use, but it just doesn't last, and I take this and put it on my waterline. Gets a little bit into the eyelashes, but it's not a big deal. Get this in towards the inner corner, and you notice that it seems to open the eye up. And this is intentional. Because I do this for my characters. I do this for my Disney characters, at least Elsa. Because if you notice, Disney characters, like anime characters, have very big eyes. And this is something that I picked up and integrated from anime character tutorials because it opens the eyes. And it will look like when I'm done that I have very big eyes, when really all I've done is line my waterline with this. Now, I've used this pencil with like other things other than eyelining, and it's makeup. People like to use specific things for specific things. I don't. Yeah, that really makes a difference, doesn't it? I might put a little bit on this lower lash line to kind of blend it. Because usually I get it on my eyelashes down here, and then I just blend it in. I kind of think that adds to it because it opens the eyes up. The most popular American makeup tutorials, a lot of the people like to close the eyes. Makes them appear more narrow, sexier, I guess. I do it when I feel like it. I'm just blending that. This is nice and thick and creamy. And next, that way this white doesn't look as jarring. Kind of blend it in. You see the difference? I like putting a little bit on the bottom lid so that it blends out nicely. It's not as jarring that way. And like I said, I use my fingers a lot. You can get a lot of good smudging in by using your fingers. Doing that for the other one. I like to do it especially for the inner corner of the inner eye because that really helps to open that part up too. And the outer corner. Yeah, really, see? Opens it up. Now, if you notice, I have blue eyes. So I don't feel like I have to use any contacts, but, you know, if you don't have blue eyes, or you feel like even if you have blue eyes, you may feel more comfortable using contacts, that's on you. Currently, as of right now, I don't use contacts because for a variety of reasons, they're expensive. A lot of them are only one use. I don't know how to put them in. So I don't feel comfortable juggling with that. So I suppose the next thing would be the eyelashes. Oh, eyelashes are such a special challenge. I used to hate doing them, and they're still a bit of a challenge, just putting things back in my box. Eyelashes are still a challenge for me, but I've been doing it more and more, so I'm a lot more comfortable with it. Now, I got these really awesome eyelashes from Amazon. They're made from mink hair, and you will notice that when I get them on, that they give me nice and fluffy eyelashes. They're just so nice. They're high quality, too. I got like 4 pairs for like $8, I think. But they last, and you gotta make sure to clean them. Just like you gotta clean your brushes. So I am taking Lash Grip eyelash adhesive and going to put it on. It's going to take a few minutes. Now as I do this, I'm going to tell you about eyelash upkeep. Thin line on here, which is all you need. You don't need a lot. Now, when I first started cosplaying, I would just have like eyelashes, and I didn't know how to take care of them. I would just let them sit after I'd pulled them off with all this gunk and makeup attached to them. Now, how you're supposed to clean them is soak them in a solution of just like warm water and like a little bit of dish soap. And I got this on, and I'm gonna wave it around a little bit, like I'm waving a flag, waving my rag, to get this tacky. I know, I'm so tacky. But it makes it sticky. And I try to get this as close to my eyelash line as possible. Now, a lot of cosplayers, when they do this, they like to put on additional mascara to their eyes. I don't, because my eyelashes can't really be seen. It doesn't really make a difference. So, this should be tacky, maybe. I like to do it for a few seconds. Now, I'm going to hold the eyelash to my eye for a couple of seconds. I'm going to do this eye, so I'm going to be turned to here towards my mirror. I like to do my inner corner as much as I can first. And towards this, I'm going to hold it. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. Yeah, it makes a really big difference, doesn't it? Now, these aren't exactly right on top of the water line, near the thing, but you can't really see my actual eyelashes. Now, what I'm probably going to do is, after these dry, I'm going to go in with a little bit of liquid black eyeliner and just kind of fill in that space. You can't see it. Maybe you can see it. It's not exactly right on top. But do you notice how this makes a really big difference? My eyes appear so much bigger. My eyelashes are doing this thing while they're kind of curving that way. When I started putting on fake eyelashes initially, it was so hard. But back to eyelash care. I mean, fake eyelash care. So after you're doing that, after it's soaked, you want to take it out, pull off, like scrape off the glue the best you can, and let them air dry. At least that's what I do. Like I said, you don't need a lot of glue. So if you're curious, one of the ways that I attach my wig is by using some of this eyelash glue. And I have spirit gum, and I tried that. It doesn't really make a difference, I find. I've heard a lot of warnings about it, but how it's not good and stuff for certain things. I don't know. I like eyelash glue. It's how I attach some of this and some of these corners. Obviously, daily wear, these things are going to come off, but I have a different eyelash glue, and in using this with the other, and using the lash grip compared to the other one, I find this, you know, the eyelashes and other stuff stay on a lot longer. So just waving this, letting it get tacky, like me. Ho, ho, ho. Just waving it. Doing my thing. Okay, that's probably enough. Alright. Try You can already see, if you can see it on the camera, it looks a little bit less garish, more natural. So the last thing I'm going to do is apply my lipstick. Well, one of the last things. This is Rimmel London Moisture Renew Glam Plum Fulham. It's to me, it's the exact color of Elsa's lipstick. It's made in England, so it's not from China. So, I'm gonna apply this using the edge. And normally I like to exfoliate my lips, but it's late enough in the day. Kind of lining my lips with the little pointed tip of this. And now I look like Elsa. And now the last thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take some NYX setting spray and then I'll be done. So give me just a second. Sorry about that. So you can see, primer has been applied, same primer as before, and that is the look. That's pretty much it. So thank you for viewing my tutorial, and hopefully I'm able to upload this because my phone has a storage limit. So thanks for joining me. Thanks for hanging out with me. This will be my first makeup tutorial if I am able to successfully post it. Bye everybody!